How's it going, everybody? We're back with Slash Yell, the MMO show. My name is Adrock, and as always, I have my awesome co-host with me, Indigo.
Hey.
And Krug.
Hi, I'm Krug.
Yeah. You know, Krug that always forgets
to...
Krug, the person that always forgets to hit record on Zencastr, that guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Good thing he didn't do that this time.
well, while he does that, takes care of his shit, Indigo, what are you up to?
Well, I'm back from working 2 weeks at Google I/O, which, if you want to hear that whole story, you're going to have to go and watch Quarter Up because I'm not going to go over that again. But other than that, I got an awesome new chair, which I'm super comfy and loving that. And that's all. That's about it. What about you, Krug?
My week was great. I did this great thing that gamers do where they obsessively play one game called Overwatch for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I did. I played Overwatch and I went to work, and then I came home and I played Overwatch and I went to work, and then so on and so on and so on until right now. I actually even played Overwatch in between the last show and this show.
Yes, it was funny because we said, "Oh, we've got enough time to play one game," and we're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna end up playing more," and we're like, "No, we've got the self control to do that." And after we finish a game, Adrock goes, "Oh, we got enough time for one more," and I just was like, "No," and I hit the exit button.
I was like, okay, no big deal.
None of that. Doc, how was your week?
I'm just tired. I've been working on multiple projects and trying to get shit ready for the summer with the little one. So I'm mostly just tired.
Hey,
I played Overwatch, played Atlas Reactor, and other stuff.
I don't know why you're so sad and upset. I saw on Facebook that you got a girlfriend.
Wait, really?
You want to see her?
Yeah, man. She there?
So
I don't know what's happening right now.
Okay, so I have a bunch of friends that went to New Orleans for a friend's birthday. I couldn't come along because it was too much money. And the joke is, oh, he's the only one of us that doesn't have a relationship. Blah, 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 blah. It's funny. No big deal at all. So they figure, dude, we'll hook you up. No big deal. Keep talking.
I don't know what's happening.
So Doc posted a photo on Facebook, so that's how I even know about this.
I can only show you half of this because the other half would get us banned from TOS.
Oh, shit. I don't even know if I want to show, I guess, the first half anymore.
So they hooked a brother up. For those of you listening to the show, they came back from New Orleans, not with an awesome shirt, not with the CD for the Revival Brass Band, which would have been amazing, not awesome blues memorabilia. They came back with a Grow Your Own Girlfriend kit they found.
How big does it
get?
They
went and found out about the legend of Mary Laveau, the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. They couldn't get me back like a little like memorial skull or something from a gift shop. They came back with this.
Answer my question.
Huh?
How big does it get?
I don't know. I haven't opened it.
Well,
I actually refuse to. I can't actually show you the second package because
it's Grow Your Own Boobs and it's just a pair of boobs?
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, please don't show us that package. The longer you hold it up there, the more nervous I am that you're going to drop the thing in front of me.
It's funny, so I figured I'd keep it around because it's got a great humor to it. So
add it to your spank bank, I guess. Whatever you want to do. Can you make the creepy. Indigo? Can you do the thing, the cheek thing, where you go like this?
Oh, Julie, do the thing. Anyway, let's get into talking about the current news and give our opinions on what's happening in the world of MMOs. And first off, let's go into Black Desert Online, and one of you guys are going to have to expand upon this because I
sponge.
Actually, I'd rather expunge this personally, but that's just me.
All right, so they released this on Reddit the other day on their forums. I'm sorry, not on Reddit, on their official forums. I apologize. That they are going to have another content release in Black Desert Online, which will be adding hundreds of new quests, new mounts, new weather effects, new armor, weapons, accessories, and an enchantment system up to 20 plus. All right, so for those people who play Black Desert Online, know that adding quests is awesome and great because it gives you additional stuff other than just straight up farming. New mounts, who doesn't want additional mounts? New weather effects.
I'm in. Is earthquake one of them? Is an earthquake a weather?
I think that's a natural disaster.
There you go.
Got it.
I don't know why that was difficult to say. Drink more. New armor, weapons, and accessories always love new armor, weapon, and accessories. Always love that.
That's been an interesting bit of contention with a lot of players. They feel that because they're on an accelerated release schedule with the Eastern Realms, that a lot of players are talking about the fact that they're constantly behind on armor. You spend all this time and resources on getting what the current tier of armor sets are for whatever you're doing, and then all of a sudden in 2 months another content pack from Black Desert shows up, and now all of a sudden all those resources that could have been better spent on the new tier are spent on the current tier, and now you're back at square one.
Yep. To me, that's a short-term thought. I'm thinking more long-term, which is you're getting all of these player bases to get used to how quickly this content gets out. And then you're going to catch up to Eastern, and you're going to slow way down.
Yep.
And then you're going to realize how long those content drop gaps are really going to be. And I think that's the long-term issue that I don't think anyone's really paying attention to. What?
I think at that point, like that far down, because they're 2 years behind or something like that. They're not going to catch up for a super long time. I think at the point where they catch up.
No. But you got to realize that it's not every 2 months they were getting content drops 2 years ago.
I understand.
I understand that. Yeah, I think with the rate that they're going, they're going to catch up fairly soon.
Okay, so
I feel like
6
that
months,
might be the case.
Like 6 months fair?
6 months to a year?
Idea,
yeah.
The basic idea is like, say, you get.
If it's a year out, they're going to like get all these people that are super invested in this game. And yeah, they'll be upset about the fact that, there's no content coming out next month, but I don't think they're going to abandon it because they've invested 6 months or a year into playing the game already.
No, it's not an abandonment, but it's just an irritant when they have to constantly use these resources and time to just get the new tier.
And this is the thing is if you've played the game for 6 months to a year, you're getting constant content updates every 2 months or so. If you then after 6 months to a year, that process stops and you're no longer seeing that content drop every 2 months, and now you're seeing that content drop every 6 months to a year, that is a huge difference. That is a very, very large difference. And I think
they'll definitely lose people, but I don't think they'll lose as many people as they would have if like it was something else. If the outrage was coming from some other reason that didn't take so long to exist. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that people are going to be spending this long is like that investment fallacy that we always talk about when we talk to certain management people at certain companies that we don't work for anymore. It's kind of like that. Like, I've invested like a year into this game and they've slowed down updates. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of keep going. Like I've become attached to this character.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I will say that, but I think we could all say that we've done the same thing with WildStar. We've all stopped playing WildStar, at least exclusively, for a while now because the content wasn't coming out in the speed that we were wanting it to. The content quality, because now you got to realize that this content has gone through the Eastern market, gotten through all of the bugs, gotten through all of that, and then we get to see it over here. So now you're seeing that content slower and not as high quality as that you have been.
Yeah, if it degrades in quality,
I think it's going to hurt them. I think it's going to hurt them because I don't think the player base itself is gigantic. I think it's a great size for them.
Sure.
And I think once they catch up, it will. No. Yeah, fuck, whatever.
Really, I kind of feel the opposite. I feel that once they've caught up to the Eastern Realms, that it will probably be beneficial. That way, you have a more consistent series of guides that come out instead of guides that are constantly obsolete because a new patch had come out. And once they catch up, say a rough estimate of like a hypothetical year, in about a year's time, they've caught up content-wise with Korea and China and Japan. New players come in and they can go, okay, cool. Well, what do I do to get this gear? And they go, well, here you go. Check out this guide. Check out this guide. Check out this guide. Or do this, this, and this. It's a lot easier to relay information because it's more accurate and more.
So you think once they've caught up, it's going to be more user friendly for new players?
It'll be more user friendly, and then you catch up to every other game's development of, okay, now we just wait longer between patches.
Right. Hey, and this is why the three of us do not have our own game. So there you go. Because none of us can agree. I mean, I can see each one of our points, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, it's kind of a crapshoot. We'll see what happens in 6 months to a year when they actually catch up. And
it just bottom line depends on the quality of the fucking content. Like that's it.
Yeah. The content's bad. I don't want to bother.
Yeah.
No, some we didn't really go into, which is the enhancement enchantment system up to 20 plus. Like, That's it. That's big because a lot of like that's talking about what Adrock was talking about investing this time. Like that's a lot of time that has been invested getting to where they are now, and then now having this system for 20 plus is it's a lot of time.
Yeah, they're creating time sinks, which is smart. Like they want to keep people invested so that when it comes to the point where they can't offer content, people feel the need to stay, which they're doing correctly. I'd say. Anyways, I want.
You should talk about the next piece because I don't know anything about it. Because
it's cute, adorable pets coming to Blade and Soul. Yep, cute, adorable pets coming to Blade and Soul. So I think
all else fails, throw in the pets.
Yeah, right.
I think that's basically what Blade and Soul is like cute, adorable pets. Come play.
Well, they don't have pets yet, but like, are you saying that characters are cute, adorable pets?
Yes.
I'd say that for every race except for the one. What?
The Lin, right? Isn't it the little short race?
Yeah. They basically are like their own pets. I wonder if the pets will be taller than them. That'd be hilarious. Anyways, pets are coming on June 1st to Blade and Soul, which is amazeballs. They can be obtained as rare drops from heroic dungeons or from random pet pouches that you can buy in the Hong Moon store, which jerk off. They're only usable by level 50 players, and there's a specific reason for that. They are not just cosmetic. They offer a defense bonus depending on how you rank them up. So there are two kinds of pets. There is a blue and a purple, the purple being heroic pets. The blue ones are just kind of, you get them and they're little cosmetic things. The purple ones can be upgraded, and they kind of alluded in the article that you would use blue pets as like components to upgrade the purple pets. I don't know exactly how that's going to work. They didn't really expand on that very well. But when you get up to level 6, pet stage 6 is what they call it, you get 510 bonus defense as a result of getting your pet there. And then all the way up to level 10, which is the maximum pet stage that they listed in the article, you get 910 bonus defense, which isn't something to gawk at. Mm-hmm. So that's all well and good. I was worried as I was reading the article because they were talking about these bonuses. The bonus is the exact same for every single pet. So
okay, that's what I was curious about. Like, is there variance in pets? Yeah.
No, the bonus is the exact same for every pet. The pet itself, the model of the pet, is purely cosmetic. So you can use whatever pet you want as long as you have a purple version of it, because the blue ones can't be upgraded. So
I mean, okay, I'm curious about that because it essentially is just a walking stat stick. There's no variance in gameplay for it.
Correct.
And that's the problem is that once they have
be targeted, it doesn't like participate in any way. It's just kind of decoration, and it passively gives you a bonus.
Then at that point, why bother giving it stats? Because if you only give it one kind of stat and every pet's the same, then you should have just created. You should have just worked on itemization better, or created a new slot or something.
Do you want me to
at that point,
to you?
I mean,
it's a money sink, like for sure, right?
It's a money sink, definitely, but there's no flavor, there's no variance to it. There's not a defensive stat pet, an attack stat pet, a speed stat set, because that's the case. If there was multiple versions with multiple stats, you start min-maxing pets, and then people only get the certain kinds of pets, and it becomes a giant mess of optimization. Because MMO players and gamers in general, if you give them options, they will invariably, almost always, go for the min-max. So at that point, why bother giving them stats if they're the exact same stat?
Because I guarantee you the one item that has the high stats is the most difficult to find, and you're going to have to spend time, money, or exorbitant amount of energy, which is equal to time, and get it, which creates money and revenue for them.
Yeah, they want you to stay in game. They want you to put effort into getting the max defense bonus from your pets. So that'll either be you running content all the time, which will keep you in game, or you spending money in the Hong Moon store trying to get more pets so you can upgrade the ones that you want to upgrade. You know what I mean? It's
welcome to the free-to-play model.
Yeah, so it does have a twinge of like monetization pain in it, but I think it's the best way they could have implemented something like this. Let me rephrase that. I think it's the easiest way they could have implemented something like this and kept it fair. I agree. It would have been nice
like this where
to have like choice, but I'd rather them do it right than do it.
I'd rather them just not do it. Because this is the problem with when people are like, why isn't the X game free to play? Because shit like this ends up happening. It's completely unnecessary when you think about it logistically, and it's such a blatantly obvious cash grab that I look at it and go, this is... I mean, I just...
I feel like you're tired, Angry.
I'm not super upset. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I am definitely tired, but it's unnecessary. At least that's the way I feel about it.
I mean, we all see it. We all see that this could have been done in so many other ways that would have made it less of a grind, but that's what they were going for. You can smell that that's what they were going for. So, at least people get cute little pets out of it. There was actually in the article a list of the pets that are going to be initially available. The available pets include a ghost, a panda, a grizzly cub, a dragon, an infernal, and a cute little sheep. And those are their words exactly, a cute little sheep. So look for that on June 1st. That's going to be exciting for those people. Enjoy.
Isn't June 1st the date for their actual content drop as well?
Yeah.
Like
that's
their
coming,
next expansion?
It's coming with 2.2.
Yeah, so you've got Blade and Soul and Black Desert Online both releasing on June 1st.
Oh shit, I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah.
The Battle of the Eastern MMOs.
Like the first week of June, because everyone's getting out of school and high school and college, they'll have more free time to do things. A lot of these MMOs are pushing for the first 2 weeks of June for new content drops.
Yeah. And that actually is a really great segue into the Secret World, who also I'm just kidding. That's not true. It doesn't have anything coming out on June 1st. But
they got something better, personally.
Yeah. Well, for them. So,
and this isn't a Secret World specific.
Correct. It's Funcom, and Funcom are the people who develop the Secret World. Is it develop or publish? They develop both?
I don't remember.
I think they develop and publish it. Anyway,
I'll look it up while you talk about it.
I know for a fact they develop it. So, Funcom has received a $6.3 million private investment, which is super awesome. Like, they were really excited about this. Their CEO says, this investment is a major turning point for the company. And this second part of the quote is the most interesting to me. Funcom has been making great games for more than 23 years, but it's also no secret that the company has had a strained financial situation in recent years that made it challenging to fully realize our new strategy and get back on the right track. This investment allows us to finally do that. So I guess he's kind of like admitting, like, yeah, we've kind of been shitty with our money. But now we're getting a fuck ton more money. Obviously, somebody believes that they can make it to the top. And Funcom isn't like synonymous with MMOs, or games in general. Like, people don't hear, unless you're in one of their games, like, you don't hear Funcom and go, oh yeah, games. But like, you hear Blizzard and go, oh yeah, games. Or you hear like NCSoft and go, oh yeah, games. They don't have that like name recognition. They're not like that brand. And I think that's kind of like what they want to do. They want to get themselves like more out there and in the public eye. So apparently, and this is also very interesting, the company also, and I don't understand this at all because I don't manage this quantity of money ever. The company has also significantly reduced its debt by $7.7 million through a debt conversion process that has cash impact on the company. First of all, can we just talk about the fact that you can do that somehow without, I don't understand how that's possible. Like, I'm going to incorporate myself so that I can just get rid of debt magically. Since apparently Funcom can just fucking get rid of debt magically. And then
it's called having great lawyers that do nothing but read.
What's reading? And as a result, the company's equity has been greatly improved from minus $10 million to more than $4 million in the black. So they went from being in the red to the black.
That's bonkers.
That's always a good transition. Yeah, right? That's a fuck ton of money. 14 million. That's a change of $14 million. It's bananas. I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
I hope, because money allows you to do stuff, but it doesn't mean that you succeed. Like, in order for money to help, you have to spend it and then make more. You can't just hold on to it and be like, look, we're $4 million in the woohoo. So this doesn't necessarily mean anything good. This just means they have an opportunity to do something good. So I hope they make the best of it. I hope they give Andy Bennett a raise, first of all. That's number one. Give Andy Bennett a raise. And then
might as well. Do it.
Push their fucking games to the limit. To the limit.
To answer your original question, Funcom is the developer and publisher for the Secret World.
Yeah, I knew that because their website doesn't link anywhere else. It's just like,
they're co-published by EA. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. I hope they could take that away from them with this money.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
No, probably not. EA's gonna never. Anyways, whatever. Fuck EA.
Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you down. Even for $6.8 million USD.
Hey, so who got this next piece of news? Because I got nothing.
So honestly, I found this, and there's not a whole lot of information that I was able to find as well. Final Fantasy XIV has a new patch coming on June 7th, titled
Jesus
Revenge
Christ.
of the Horde.
June, calm down.
Yeah, first 2 weeks of June, man.
Well, and not only that, Black Desert Online has 2 releases happening in June. One on June, and then another one later on in June. That's going. I didn't have a ton of information, so I didn't want to talk about it.
June is my birth month.
Is it?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Not gonna get you anything.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so is mine.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Doc, I will get you something.
Cool.
Neither of us
Anyway,
care about what you do.
Honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing for my birthday. I'm turning 29, and I have no idea. I forgot my birthday was even happening until
you're
last
turning
month.
29?
Someone said,
I know what you're
Yes.
gonna do. You're gonna sit in a corner and weep.
"No, that's my Tuesdays."
Oh. Gotcha.
Anyway, Final Fantasy XIV, there's going to be more dungeons coming in, more hard mode dungeons. Looking for raid functionalities coming in. And apparently, I don't play Final Fantasy. I believe there's housing. I'm not quite sure. But pottery was a very big selling point. Flower pots were a function in this trailer that was something to be talked about. So if you have housing in Final Fantasy XIV, there you go. You can now
Where's
get
the
flower
link
pots.
for this nonsense? Because
For some reason, it's not there. I don't know why.
you're
I'm gonna find it right now. I don't have a lot of information on it other than the release trailer. So I wish I had more, especially because we're what 2 weeks away from that. It doesn't make any sense why some of these games are saying, "Here's a new video with no information." We had to think about GTA last time; they did the same thing last show quarter up, and it's like, "Cool, June 7th. What's going on in it?" Nah, June 7th. Okay,
Just come.
thanks,
back.
guys.
Just come on June 7th.
Right?
That sounded wrong. I didn't mean.
Whoa.
I don't want you to come on June 7th. I mean, you can.
Oh God, stop talking.
I don't
Stop.
have a problem if
You're
do
not
that.
allowed to
Stop-
talk
stop
anymore.
The hole is getting deeper. The hole is getting deeper.
That's what she said.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Someone else talk about Monster Hunter Online, please.
Oh my
Monster
God.
Hunter Online. Monster Hunter Online, if you do not know, is exactly what it sounds like. It's Monster Hunter, the game, the series.
Are you talking about Monster
But-
Hunter, the game that I used to play on my Game Boy?
Yes,
I fucking
There
love
is
that
a-
game.
at least that's what I've been told. It has an MMO option or like version of it
Uh-huh.
that's only really available in Asia. Well, technically, I mean, it's not IP blocked, so you could play Monster Hunter Online right now if you wanted to, if you knew Chinese. On May 30th.
Oh.
May 30th, there is a unofficial English translation coming for the game.
Ooh.
So you could go today and register for an account because they're not IP region blocked. And 2p.com has actually a guide, as well as the guys putting out the unofficial English translation to how to install and register. Because obviously, if you don't know how to read Chinese, you know how you're gonna do it. And then you can just try and play. A lot of Western players have been mentioning, though, that yes, you can play the game, but because there are no North American or European servers, there's just Asian servers, expect stupid high ping.
Gotcha.
So that's definitely going to impact the way you play and how you progress through the game because
That
it's
sucks.
not made for North American European audience.
They don't care about you.
At least not in
No.
this case.
Unless you're
at
listening
all.
from that region, in which case they do. They don't care about me. How about that?
I'm trying to figure out like why would
Monster Hunter
Online-
doesn't care about
Um,
Krug people. That was a Kanye West joke.
timely. How very
I
timely of you.
fucking quit. Oh my god.
That's my evil plan all along, is to get you the fuck off this show.
But I
Holy
mean,
crap.
honestly, guys, Monster Hunter has a fucking huge presence in gaming. Every time Monster Hunter comes out, whether it's North America, European, or Asia, people take the days off and play this game. Like, there's hardcore groups that are dedicated Monster Hunters. Why is this game not bothered to come out for U.S. audiences? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. Like, this is money.
I don't know.
And it's on Nintendo platform, so it has a big enough audience, at least the console versions.
Maybe it's because we're super picky.
Maybe, but the game looks great. I mean, graphically speaking, it's pretty high up there. It looks fantastic. I haven't seen any of the combat of it. I don't know. I've never been a big Monster Hunter fan myself, just because I don't have a Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, neither do
So
I.
I've never played it myself and understand it, but I understand how much fun people have with that game. So I don't. It's just such an odd thing. That it doesn't make any sense. If anybody's in chat and they understand, why Monster Hunter hasn't come out, I'd love to know why. This is the most baffling of other MMOs. Like they're constantly importing random pay-to-win grind fests that are from the fucking the podunks of like Korea that you pay assloads of money to just grind and pay your way up. But it just doesn't make any sense to me why this game is not bothered to come out. That's just me.
Well,
I don't know. I'm really confused by that.
Maybe they'll hear that and release it here for you.
Yeah,
or you can play with like 700 ping. That'll work.
I mean, you can literally craft from like the bodies of dead creatures you create. It's that cool. Like things you kill in Monster Hunter, you create, and that's your armor.
That's kind of
like It's awesome.
I don't know why that's any more fucked up than killing them in the first place, but I guess whatever. I'm just a hypocrite.
I mean, we do it already in other games. It's just this looks cooler because it's more primal. But I guess if you only hunt like goobery looking animals, you'll have like goobery looking armor.
Womp womp.
I don't know.
I have zero interest in this topic.
I noticed.
Well, then talk about WoW.
Let's talk about WoW. This is an interesting one. Everyone's going to be like, WoW sucks, and WoW's amazing, or WoW's the dead game. But they've done something to try and really help leveling of all things. So Legion's coming out, and the Warcraft movie's coming out in, again, about 2 weeks or so. So Blizzard has recently started to fix the leveling progression, more specifically from 1 through 40 in the Cataclysm zones. This might sound essentially like glorified patch notes, but just bear with me because it's interesting why they bother to do it now. What they've basically done is they want to focus and engage time to kill for new players. They want players to actually bother learning their skills so they're not being power leveled through early game dungeons by people with heirloom gear. So what they've basically done is they've reduced some damage as well. Especially melee classes, anyone that uses strength and agility will notice this hit harder than range classes like, say, mages or warlocks. NPCs will do more damage as well as dynamically spawn. So the more players that are in a zone doing an area, the quests won't lag behind. So you're not sitting there constantly fighting for items to get.
That's super good. They did that in Black Desert. And actually it was hilarious because they did that in Black Desert and then we joined a game after like the beta period, like right after release. And there were mobs literally everywhere because the density of players in that starting zone was off the fucking charts.
Yeah,
so literally you couldn't spit without hitting a mob for some quest or another. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
And even then, to kind of make it harder for you guys, out of combat regen has been reduced. The idea basically is they want players to learn their classes, and they fully do expect with Warcraft coming out on June 10th that they're going to get an influx of players who have never really played the game and have really heard about it probably, but have never really played it themselves. They're giving away promotional items for it. They're giving away game downloads with ticket prices. It's pretty crazy. They're actually really banking on this. And the idea is basically to learn the game, to enjoy the game. So you're not just going, I'm just going to smash the one key the whole time. Right. And people that are testing it out were saying, yeah, it's actually difficult now where, it would take you maybe 1 button, 2 buttons, and you've already killed 3 items, three NPCs. You bother pulling more than 3 characters, you're really kind of SOL. You're going to be taking more damage for it, and you have to be smarter about survival in lower levels. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting.
I mean, I think it's. Do you remember, Krug, when we were trying to like PvP and we just got demolished because we didn't have any heirloom gear?
Yes, I hated that.
Like, I think they're trying to cater because I think they're going to be seeing a lot more new players that's never been introduced to the World of Warcraft world. And so they're trying to kind of come back and be like, make it not so, difficult for new players. You know what I mean? I think that's really what
like impossible. If you're in a zone and you don't have so I have a rogue. If I'm in a zone without, or if I was in a zone without Adrock and Indigo with me, I couldn't survive because Indigo had heirlooms, Adrock had heirlooms. I had none. I was just literally a fresh character, and somebody 4 levels lower than me would be able to demolish my shit if they had the right heirlooms. Which doesn't feel good at all.
And I wonder how that's going to work when you get into PvP.
Hopefully they just turn off heirlooms from PvP. Excuse me.
Well, they have a new PvP system coming in with Legion, so we'll see how that all pans out.
Knock on wood.
So that's going to be our most of our news for this week's /zone. we're gonna head right into our /LFG, which is our beta games. So the first game we're actually going to talk about is a new one that we haven't yet to talk about, and that's because there's really not that much news out about it other than this one video, and it's Absolver.
Yeah.
It is a melee only MMO, so it's going to be it kind of looks like you're out in the nature, you're out in the wood. Like, you didn't see any big structures or towns or anything in this video, so it kind of seems like wilderness. Everyone wears a mask of some sort. I don't know if that's like the direction that they're going overall, or if that's just kind of where they are this far into the game. But you're going to be going in there, and it's going to be melee punching, swords, and there's no magic from what actually, that's not true. It looks like there's maybe magic involved in the game, but it looks more like buffing or debuffing, and not necessarily like long range, fireballs or anything like that. And it kind of felt like it was like a side-scrolling fighter in some parts. Like when you're on a 1v1 battle, it kind of looked like the characters were behaving as if you were using a controller.
I didn't get that.
You didn't feel that?
No, it felt kind of arena based. Like I'd compare
It did
more
feel
to,
very arena based.
I'd compare it more to Arena Smite than I would a side scroll.
But also,
no, I didn't mean. Let me rephrase that. I don't mean like side scroller, but more like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, in the sense where you got 1v1.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And the way at least that camera view was doing it felt like
I don't think you're going to be locked to one plane like that.
No, and that's not what I'm trying to say. It felt like it was less of a toolbar. Hit one and you do this specific ability. It felt very reactive. Very,
gotcha.
Quick buttons. There isn't like a time where, you have to charge this ability to do this. It was just like, you do this, you punch, you do your single move with a single button. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
The most interesting part about Absolve is the developers. Developers are digital, or Devolver Digital. If you don't know who they are, I'll be surprised, because they've been a big name lately. Here's some of the games they've done. Enter the Gungeon, Broforce, Gods Will Be Watching, Hot Off a Boyfriend, Hotline Miami 1 and 2, Luftwaffes, Not a Hero, Oklos, Rain, Ronin, Serious Sam, Shadow Warrior 1 and 2. These guys have talent, serious talent. A lot of these games are single player based, or they're roguelites, so Absolver is definitely a step to the left of everything they've done. So just the pedigree of Digital Devolver, or Devolver Digital, my God, what the hell, makes me very excited for Absolver, and I really want to see this happens. Even if it doesn't end up being an MMO in the sense of like, this is like Destiny, it's not an MMO at all. Like, okay, well, whatever, if that's how you like it.
So cool. There's an interesting quote in their website that I don't really understand that I kind of want to run by you guys. It's in their About section, and it's under a heading called Customizable Style and Flow, and it says, players will define their character's playstyle by picking a combat style, a weapon of choice, and arranging attacks in their combat deck to design their unique and personal attack flow. Combat deck and attack flow are two things that I am very curious about.
It sounds like they're merging a little bit of fighting games with the current crop of action shooters, like say Paladins or Titanfall.
It doesn't sound like that to me. Like combat decks.
Once you say decks, that's the first thing I think of.
Decks?
See, I think of the Secret World and how they have like, you've got all of these abilities, but you can only have like
an
5.
LAS. But
so
I think combat deck is going to define like what combos you can use. So you always have like the same basic shit, like punch, kick, whatever, like standard Street Fighter bullshit. And then the combat deck will define like, if I punch and kick at the same time, it'll do this instead of doing this other thing because I don't have that thing in my deck. That's my super speculative speculation. I'm going to trademark that term. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what this is about. Like, just because the art style is fucking gorgeous and like it, I don't know. It's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, no, Devolver Digital has gorgeous looking games. Just go look through any of their thing. Even Hot Up a Boyfriend, for being a relationship simulator, is definitely unique and intriguing just looking on its own.
Don't go look at that.
Well, and what I like about this is the art style specifically is it's realistic in the sense that, it's not super cartoony, but it is also stylized in the sense that I think that this could last long, like last a while art wise, you know, because like when you have something that's super high realistic, it ages really quickly.
Sure.
And I think this could stay a little bit longer because I think it's a mix between both of those worlds.
Yeah, it kind of has like a Borderlands, like I'd say a more
realistic Borderlands.
Like not as cartoony, but it still has that kind of cell shading look. Is that how you say that, Doc?
Seashells by the
cell
seashore.
shading.
How
Cell
much
shading.
would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could play Absolver?
Anyways, so that I like it. It looks really interesting. But I'm going to move on to something that I'm super excited about. So
the continuing development saga of
Crowfall, because if it's nothing else but a media frenzy, like literally they post so much content just constantly. So the first piece is it's the first look at the Druid. So the Druid is a multi-tier class, so you can actually run around and heal people, or you can actually change over and do damage. So it's very similar to other classes or other games that use Druids. You know, for example, World of Warcraft, you've got your bear form, but then you can also heal, and you know, there's a bunch of stuff. But with this, it's a mid to short range healer. So one of the abilities that they show off is the left click, which is it drops orbs that other players can go and run over and heal themselves. But each time
they change that.
Why do you say that?
Because the healer is supposed to be the one responsible for the healing, but that's like delegating the responsibility for the healing to the deeps and the tank. Like I'm gonna give you the tools you need to heal yourself, and then you heal yourself. I don't think it's gonna work.
Well, so there's a couple things to that. Is I think it will change, but I don't think it will change to the point where like, oh, that person's healed now. Like, I don't think that this game is a tab targeted game at all. And so I don't think they can just be like, you're healed, boom. But what I do think why it will probably stay similar or very close to what it is now is the fact that each time that they use the ability, the heal gets stronger. And then the third time it's used, it actually not only heals health, but also action points. Resource, your resource. So it's kind of nice to be able to like, all right, I'm gonna drop a couple heals and then only grab this one when you need to grab resources. And I think it'd be interesting for a team fight. But there's also an AoE heal, which is like raining heal. It just literally rains green and you heal. No numbers or anything on this yet. And then it also does a damaging. What was the term that he used? His cannon mode.
Their nuke tray. So
nuke tray.
I don't think you explained this part, but the Druid isn't just a healer. The Druid has two essentially what are stances. They call them different trays because you switch out your ability tray to a different one. And it looked pretty fucking powerful. Like the chain lightning thing that they could do, like is super OP. And if you're in your nuke tray and you're like in a situation where you're fucked, like surrounded by stuff, you have a C ability that will like cause you to float in the air and like push enemies away from you, and then you heal what looked like a fuck ton of health. Like literally probably more health than is on your health bar.
Yeah, at least for now.
Yeah. Right.
So the other interesting thing is that it's kind of made to stance dance, because some of the abilities, like for example, your left click that drops the healing orbs, you can then go into your nuke tray and be able to use an ability that actually causes those to explode and do damage.
Yep.
So that's the other thing to that, is that it's kind of reliant on being able to go back and forth between healing and damage to really get the benefit of one or the other. Another ability that they have is they have a dash ability. The chain lightning, while I don't think the sound effects are the best.
Yeah.
It is alpha.
I didn't like many of the sound effects in that video. Like the sound that you make when you pick up one of those orbs is very loud and obnoxious. It's just like bling, like whoa, buddy, I get it. I'm healed. All right. And they did that a lot in the video.
They did. They like, watch, I'm gonna run over it again.
Bling,
watch
bling,
this
bling.
other player run over it. I'm like,
bling,
oh god. Yeah, the lightning I thought was magic missile at first, and I was like, you're a druid, you're not supposed to have magic missile. And then I was like, oh, it's blue and it's linking to other people. Yeah, that needs a new skin.
You're a nerd.
Yeah. But the other really cool thing that they came out, and we talked a little bit about this, I want to say about a month or so ago, about the armor and how it affects each class. So they were
This is interesting.
Yeah, they were having difficulty saying, all right, well, this person has a ton of health, and of course they're going to wear plate, which gives them a ton of armor, which means that they're no longer, really being able to be damaged because you have to have, it basically forced people into specific armor sets. But now each class will now have different benefits for each armor that you use.
It'll
for example,
augment your playstyle.
Yeah, exactly. So, for example, a champion, which is a big melee class, wearing full plate reduces time to activate hateful regen. While you can also wear leather and chain, each one of them giving their own specs. Same with Confessor, Druid, Knight, Legionnaire, and Ranger. Each one of them has a different plate, leather, and chain specific benefit.
So the idea basically being the heavier the armor type, it seems to be the augment is some kind of survival ability, whether it's the ability to knock down other characters or shorten the cooldown on your interrupts or something. Whereas leather will give you probably something in the more line of possibly regen stuff, or it obviously makes you harder to hit, but there's other ways it makes it easier to hit, but it also gives you a benefit of maybe some kind of more damage or something. It's something that especially cloth-wearing classes, people that play those kind of mage characters, will probably love to experiment with because that will give you the option of doing something like a battle mage. In the case of like the Confessor, a plate option gives you knockdown now, and you're a mage.
Yeah,
and you're sitting there going like, "Oh, I won't be blown up within 2 hits anymore. I can be blown up in 4 hits instead. That gives me time to do something sweet."
And it's not like it. The other part of this, the other design aspect of this, is making sure that it makes sense as a mage to have a ton of health. Like, for example, the Confessor has, like, for those of you that don't know Crowfall characters, the Confessor is like a fire mage, essentially. So the Confessor has an ability that he can activate that just creates, like, rings of fire around him, like AoE damage, and it's just around him, and he can walk around and it'll follow him and do damage around him. So you can use your abilities with the mindset of like, okay, I have a fuck ton of health. I'm going to use this AoE like burst damage and just run through these people and just deal damage to them while casting other abilities. Or you wear leather, get the benefit of leather, and stay far back because you also have a long range fireball that does a fuck ton of damage. So it's like you need to also pay attention to the kits that you're working with, because if as a Confessor all of my abilities are super long range, why do I need this much health? Like it doesn't make sense. But apparently they've kind of handled that situation.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at specifically Confessor, you can see Fervor no longer reduces your armor and knock down the enemy in an area around you.
Yeah.
That's if you wear plate.
Right.
So it's now saying, okay, I end up getting close into battle when I don't necessarily want to. Now it's giving me a better defense, the fact that I'm knocking people down and I'm able to get out. While leather, righteousness procs increases critical chance by 5% for 30 seconds, stacked up to 50%.
Right.
So now you're wearing leather, you've got less, you now have a higher chance of proccing. And Adarak is right, where across the board, each one has got very similar, very defensive, very offensive.
You trade survivability for some kind of generation or damage.
Exactly. I'm super excited for this game, and I can't wait for it to come out.
I just really hope the animations improve, because I was watching some beta gameplay today and they're not good at all.
Yeah. Well, again, you mean alpha?
Alpha. What are they?
Alpha.
Beta? Yeah, alpha. But if this game gets polished, which I really hope it sees some really good detailed polish, this could be like my next favorite game, hands down.
Yeah.
Really
no, this. Well, and it's got a long way. You have to realize that they're still working on basic.
I'm still probably another year or so out.
I'm not saying that I'm worried by any means.
Yeah.
I totally understand it's still an alpha. I totally understand that the things in there are just like previews of things that might happen. So I'm not worried about it yet. I'm just saying that that's what it needs in my eyes. Like, just polish it up. Just polish it up and give it to me. Just polish it up, give it to me.
Yeah?
Polish it up,
how do you want it?
I want it polished up and then given to me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Can we call this episode Polish It Up and Give It to Me?
Yeah, okay. I'm down.
All right, guys. Now, the news that all of you have been waiting for, and I mean all of you. We haven't talked about this game in a while, but I know that you guys are going to
we have talked about it. I saw this and I'm like, did we ever talk about this?
Yes, we have talked about it. You're the one that brought this game up.
I thought so.
But we haven't talked about it in a long time, since the first time we ever talked about it. I know I'm being super suspenseful, but the game, the wonder, the majesty that it is, Wild Terra you can now buy early access to that
Oh
game.
my god.
I have never seen such a disparaging difference between every other aesthetic of the game and then the game world itself. Go to that site. This
Oh
game
my God,
looks
right?
slick as fuck. You're like, yeah, this looks cool. Concept art looks sweet. They're telling me what I could do. Let's see some in-game footage.
Screenshots?
Dude, the fact that their
Huh?
logo has better graphics than their actual game.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Don't
it.
knock on Wildterra. It's just the first thing I noticed was like, fuck, man. Wow, this looks
So
huh?
let's go over the pricing really quick because I think this is fucking hilarious. So you can get early access to the game for $14.99, which is 25% off the original price of $20. You get the title of Knight and 1,000 gold. Or the next tier
That's it.
up, you can get it for $50, which is a 37% discount off of the $80 that it normally costs. I use normally in heavy quotes every time I say it, by the way. You get the title of Earl. You get 7 premium days and 3,000 gold. You also get unique recipes of noble breastplate, leggings, greaves, gloves, sword, and shield. Or, and this is the pièce de résistance, you can get the early access Duke bundle, which Indigo and I have lovingly named the Dookie bundle, for $99 USD. That's minus 50% off the original price of $200. Go fuck yourselves. That wasn't the original price. You just want to write 50% off. You get the title of Duke. You get 30 premium days, 7,000 gold, all the recipes that I said before. You get a scroll of Noble Dominium. I don't know what that means. And you get a bound mount, the Bay horse, and that's not B-A-E, that's B-A-Y. Indigo had to correct me when I was making fun of him for saying it out loud.
Now, it doesn't sound like a lot.
No, it sounds like
it's
absolutely nothing for fucking $100.
But it also ties into what Wildterra is. According to Wildterra's developers, Wildterra's biggest draw is that there really are no NPCs to interact with, no vendors. Every player that plays this game helps construct the game world.
So basically, you have to have a large player base, or you're fucked.
Or
Right,
a dedicated group of people for anything from hunting to crafting to building. There's no scripted orders like, oh, okay, I'm gonna right click this guy and I'm gonna go sell my shit here. No, everything is reliant on you guys. It's honestly as hardcore can get, in my opinion. Everything is dependent on you. This is insane for an MMO. I don't know how that's gonna work.
I don't know why.
I am legitimately 100% curious. Like, how?
I can't understand.
Just remember, though, Krug did pay $100 to get into Black Desert Online.
That's true. I did do
Yeah, well, just think, if you would have gotten that 50% discount.
that. You're funny. I hate you so much. Fucking, I can't play this game. It's so ugly. I can't stand how ugly it is still. Remember when
Moose just got into chat. Moose just got into chat and he goes, because MMO players, they're just so well known to help other players.
Exactly. It's such a bare pre-order option. And oh man, if you really did enjoy old school RuneScape, if you love top-down isometric games like Diablo, this kind of style is right up the alley. There's just such an odd thing where it's like this is
right? It's like RuneScape. It feels like really, really advanced RuneScape.
Well,
I guess.
I mean, systematically really advanced RuneScape. Graphically, exactly the same.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I mean,
it looks like RuneScape.
I want to know who's in charge of concept art and then actual development of the assets in game.
Those two people
and their
have
fucking
never
design
met
team.
before ever.
The design team, and the build team have never met.
So no. This is what happened. They went, all right, guys, let's get the best artists that we can find and give them this idea, and we'll come up with all this concept art. And they did all of that, and they're like, all right, now we just got to make this into a game. Does anyone know a programmer? No.
Anybody?
All right, well, we're
going
gonna have to hire a programmer. We're gonna hire a programmer. How much do they cost?
My little cousin's a programmer. He can work for $50. Done. Get him.
We spent all of our money on concept
How
art.
does he feel about physics? Physics. I mean, he's still learning.
He can make
Sorry, I
things go in a
know
straight
we're
line.
really, really insulting it. We haven't played Wildterra.
Yeah. All
It's
right.
just
We'll calm down.
our view of it is it's so jarring, and this whole pre-order thing is just it's so sparse. I don't I don't get it.
The fact that I'm paying
legitimately
$100,
Wait,
I'm paying $100 and I'm not getting anything physical,
Yeah.
and I'm not getting like an exorbitant amount of stuff.
For $100, you're given the opportunity to possibly craft shit that you don't know how to craft yet.
Hold on. I like chat the best talking about how much it costs. He said $200. You better get me a map and little miniatures and a mug and a T-shirt and a commemorative pack of cigarettes would be cool too.
I don't even smoke, and I'm down for that. And they're talking about they're going to add stuff like dungeons and more skills and abilities and arenas to teamfight people, and even private servers. So that's something else to think about. So Wild Terra's maybe there's more to this than we're mocking it for.
All right, Krug's gonna buy the $100 version, and then we'll find out how it is later.
Yeah.
Speaking of games that just astound me that this is a thing, it's happening. I mean, the website itself runs on Java, so just letting you know that when you want to click on the link.
100%
Worm Online, another sandbox MMO where it's in a similar vein. They've gone into.
Why did you tell us it ran on? Oh, there's a big Java thing at the top right. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
So part of its appeal is the same thing. You stake your claim in the world. You can terraform, which means everything is persistent supposedly in Worm Online. So anything you change in Worm Online will be permanently changed and stay that way until someone else comes along and salts the earth behind you and laughs at your corpse as he pisses on it. So it's something else.
You need a nap real bad.
And it's the same kind of idea where you're just constantly building and banding with other players, but there's more things to do than just everything is done by you.
Right.
So if you're not a fan of the isometric MMO, you could go back circa 2001 and try Worm Online.
All right. Okay. So this is a little pet peeve that I have of my of websites, and this isn't a knock on the game. This is the first time I've ever even been to this site because of the notes. You should never ever put a video of your content that you're trying to sell in a box about this big and then not offer a fucking expand all to fucking full screen it. Like, sorry, that just bugs the fuck out of me.
In fact, Chad actually does. In fact, Chad actually does say that Worm as software is pretty crap, but does expand and do things that even Minecraft doesn't do well. So that's interesting. That's honestly interesting. Like, wait, you're telling me that the game's been out for a long, long while, and that everybody fucking plays, does things worse than this game?
Yep. That
looks like Dark Age Camelot's sad little brother.
Yep.
I think my house is catching on fire.
Oh god, that's so annoying. Please mute.
I can't do anything about it.
You can mute yourself
yes,
for the
you
rest
are.
of the show.
Yeah, mute yourself right now and you know, walk away and get that shit sorted out.
Thank you.
Sorry about that,
That's
folks.
so weird.
Shit happens.
Are you not
fine.
gonna go check?
It's soft.
Go, leave.
There's other people in my house.
Your fiance is probably dead and burning now. You're just sitting here.
That's impossible. How did she shut the fire off?
How did she shut the fire off?
Ever see those where someone dies and they turn off the button at the last minute? That could be her right now. You heartless bastard.
He doesn't care. It doesn't look like he cares.
Anyway.
Not a single fuck.
This slash yell. I don't know why it's a slash yell, but we're gonna move on to slash yell.
I don't know where to put it. It just seemed interesting to me because
right.
it's kind of like a travel back in time.
This is really fucking cool.
So there's an Imager user on. I found this through Reddit or MMORPG. He decided to show off, he or she, the Economics of Collapse is their name. Their MMO collection of sealed boxes. So the games that he's probably already played, and it's like a brief history and tour of it, and it's crazy because one, you get to realize how bad box art was in the early days of MMOs, and the fact that they even had box art. And two, man, if you've played a lot of these games, it throws you for a nostalgia loop of the highest degree. Yep. Speaking of Funcom, how about Anarchy Online? How about Shadowlands, the expansion pack, or even Asheron's Call? Remember Auto Assault, the MMO card game that NCSoft did? That you like Mad Max yourself with a car you tricked out and then promptly closed the game like a year after it was released?
I will say
90%
of these are EverQuest.
I'm admiring the Dungeons & Dragons Online box art where I played that game and that doesn't represent anything.
Right? It looks awesome and it's like Stormreach. It's like what? This is cool. And you play it. Honestly, the EverQuest box art looks like old D&D, like 3.5 stuff.
What is that chick's name? She's on the cover.
Furiona V, I think. I think it's Furiona V. Right? Yeah, Furiona V. I believe it is.
There you go.
Wow, good job.
I played EverQuest since beta, and Furiona V is in all of the promotional materials.
Well, I have to say, this dude does need to learn how to focus some of the photos.
What the fuck is Neocron?
Oh my god, there are so many EverQuests.
I know, right?
EverQuest is like 18 million expansions.
Jesus.
So I'm telling you, that progression server for EverQuest is like the greatest idea ever, specifically for EverQuest, because it has almost 2 decades worth of expansions. Let that sink in for a moment there. EverQuest launched live in like 1998, I think it was, or even a little earlier than that, late 90s. We're coming up on 2020. This game is 20 years old and still has consistent expansions.
Hold on. If we're coming on to 20 on 20, then your birthday this weekend, you're 40, because that we're still 2016. We got 4 more years. We're like halfway point. All right. Don't say that we're in 2020. But I will say I love the box art for Fury, which is a game I've never heard of before.
Never heard of.
But this is PvP reborn. A game no competitive player can afford to miss. Like, it's fucking
Lord of the Rings, the Matrix Online. Remember that Matrix Online? The actual canon continuation of the Matrix story was in Matrix Online.
Was it really?
Yeah. Morpheus died, like full on, like
spoilers, sir.
The game is closed. You can't play it anymore.
I am bleeping that out.
Yeah, I don't even know what Neocron is. I've never heard of this. But PlanetSide is another PvP big time.
Oh, Tabula Rasa.
Yeah,
Shadowbane, Tabula Rasa. Honestly, Shadowbane and Warhammer Age of Reckoning is on here as well. It makes you think of, oh yeah, people always say, we do love our PvP and MMOs. No, you don't. None of these games lasted more than 5 years that had PvP-centric games. Auto Assault, PvP-centric. Lord of the Rings Online with PvE. Warhammer, Matrix,
Shawarma Hammer.
I'll play Shawarma Hammer. And I honestly, man, it's crazy watching this, and you're like, man, we've come a long way, and I played so many of these games. How much of my life has been done with these games? Wow.
How much are each of these boxes?
You know, some of them are going for quite a bit. I think there's a Reddit thread they're talking about it, and someone was like, hey, do you have, I think it's Ultima Online boxes. He goes, yeah, I actually don't have sealed boxes. He specifically has the sealed stuff, which surprisingly raises the price on them. I think he was saying that some of them are going for as much as $40 online for a sealed copy of the game for a defunct game. They've become legit collector's items now, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. There's enough here where he could contribute this to like a gaming museum. That would be kind of interesting to have
50 boxes.
Yeah,
that's insane.
You have like a little exhibit of the history of MMOs on here. It's kind of crazy. It blows me for a loop.
Make $2
Between
grand,
that
sell that shit.
Yeah, you can make some money off that. Not bad.
$2 grand, baby.
Awesome. Well, that's it for us this week.
I'm just astounded.
Yeah, no. I am too. I'm actually I can't believe we actually talked about the Worm and
Asheron's Call, man. Asheron's Call. Come on.
This is the if we didn't already have a name, I'd call this the throwback episode, but
we have an episode.
We have an episode name.
But that being said, my name is Indigo. You can reach me on Twitter at Indigo Joe. Actually, no, it's just Indigo QT. And you can email me at indigo@QueueTimes.com. Krug, where can people find you if they want to get a hold of you?
You can find me at KrugQT on Twitter. You can also email me. My email address is Krug@QueueTimes.com. Hurry up. I want to play Overwatch. Adrock, where can we find you?
Hold your horses. Hold your horses. I just want to appreciate how finely constructed that Dungeons and Dragons box art is. I mean, this fully explains the game itself. Right? I mean, not really in practice, but it looks great. I mean, the best on the list, probably.
Doc.
You can find me at Rock Draws on Twitter. It's the best way to get a hold of me.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
And Indigo is going to go check these houses that burned down yet. We should leave it on to watch to see what happens.
All right, I'm down. The podcast's over. Wait, let's finish the outro first. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, Feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you liked it. Leave a comment if you liked the show. If you didn't like the show, also leave a comment because we want to hear what we can do better to improve the show. And if you're listening to the podcast, feel free to leave a comment on that too with the same kind of situation as the video comment because it doesn't matter where the comment is as long as we can see it. And are we going to stay a little bit longer and see if he comes back? He's probably getting food.
I think he's literally died in the fire. That's what happens if you play DPS for too long. You die in the fire in real life.
If I was better at After Effects, the video of this episode would have just like a stream of flame coming out of that door.
I can't heal through stupid. He's almost not checked the telegraph.
He's standing in the red. All right, I'm gonna.
He had an audio cue. How did he not check the fire? He stood in the fire. It's his fault. Leave him to die.
He had an audio cue.
He had a real life audio cue.
What fucking funny would that be if you stood in fire in a game and played a fire alarm sound? Just like beep, beep, beep.
I'll get my ass out of the fire. I need that add-on for games.
Thank you.
Some obnoxious noises.
Thank you for checking out the show. We're gonna be back in a couple minutes to play Overwatch. We have to go get food first because we've been working on shows since 3 and we're all very hungry people. We'll see you in a bit. Mwah.